What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. Please forgive me, I know I'm late, but I'm finally covering the Pittsburgh Steelers Day 2 of their NFL Draft. They are 3 picks in rounds 2 and 3. I know that day was Friday night. I know it is now Sunday when I am recording and probably uploading this, so I know it's late. I apologize. I did cover the Troy Fautanu first round pick, so if you guys want to see my stats, fit, and thoughts on the first round pick of tackle Troy Fautanu, my video is on this channel already. Now I'm covering Day 2, which happened on Friday. Rounds 2 and 3, Pittsburgh had 3 picks in those 2 rounds, and I want to give my quick, stats, overall thoughts on those picks. I'm also going to, right after this is done, do more research to bring you guys a compilation of my thoughts on all the Day 3 stuff in rounds 4 through 7, as well as all the currently signed undrafted free agents. I'll bring you guys that video as soon as possible. I apologize that I'm late. I apologize that I'm tired and stuffy and my throat is sore. I just closed a play. I was 2 characters in a play, which is why this is late. As tired as I am, though, I am not going to stop with the Steeler coverage. Check out the first round video. Here comes round 2 and 3. Pittsburgh, in round 2 at pick 51, drafts center Zach Frazier from West Virginia. We needed a center. That was a big, big need for us. And after going with a tackle that probably shouldn't have fallen to us at pick 20, we had to take him. But at pick 51, the thing was, we hope that one of those 3 centers is there for us at 51. Or would we trade up? There was a lot of conjecture. Pittsburgh has to do whatever they can to get one of these top 3 centers, and they did. Graham Barton went in the first round. Jackson Powers-Johnson went ahead of us in the second round, so our only premium center to get at 51 was Zach Frazier, and thankfully he lasted to us. Zach Frazier is a big-time Steeler fit. Somewhat local kid as far as West Virginia goes, but just big, tough, strong, physical mentality, just mental toughness and grit. The dude is just really, really, a good fit for the Steelers. His upper body strength, his anchor. I had him for the most part as the second best center in this draft behind JPJ. I know Graham Barton kind of shot up the draft boards a little bit, but Zach Frazier is going to fit in right here as a day 1 starter. He, to me, is the instant starting center for this team. You can't do any better. Getting, in my opinion, the second best tackle on Thursday and the, probably second or third best center here on Friday at pick 51. Upper body strength is really, really good. His quick punch, as far as his hand placement and stuff, is really, really solid. He's got a good anchor and a good base. He's a hard guy to move. People talk about his broken leg. He did suffer an injury. He started every game for the past 2 or 3 seasons until missing the bowl game due to a broken leg. To show you his toughness, he stood up and limped off the field with his broken leg. Says he's now entirely healthy. I'm not that concerned with the injury because it is his first injury. He played all of his games before then. He was an Iron Man. He seemed to come back and rehab well since the injury. Pittsburgh has scouted that. I think he's just going to be a natural fit for us. Again, just a good pass blocker, strong upper and lower. His length is a tiny concern. He's not super long, but neither is Fautanu. I'm not that concerned. I think this is a great pick. It is a high-value pick at the biggest remaining need for the Steelers. So we get our tackle, we get our center. We got Broderick last year. We brought in Daniels. We brought in Sayamalu. We've got now a combination of veterans and strong young players that are going to anchor this line for years to come. Excellent first 2 picks. A+ for me. Then we go to round 3, pick number 84. Somehow we get Roman Wilson. He was mocked to us at 51 in a lot of these drafts. This is one of the deepest receiver classes we've had in a long, long time at wide receiver. And I had Roman Wilson probably about like my 8th or 9th receiver in this draft, so a top 10 receiver. Others had some people out there that were still out there, like a Troy Franklin, guys like that. Devontae Walker from Carolina. People really wanted us to get an outside receiver, and Roman Wilson is more of an inside receiver, so they kind of were not a fan of getting another slot guy. But Roman Wilson has got great technique. He's got so many positives on his side. Had almost 800 yards last year, 12 touchdowns last year, and out of his 70-plus catches, only 1 drop. The dude's got sure hands. He's a red zone target. He's underratedly strong for a guy his size, and he's incredibly fast. He's got so many tangible and intangibles that he can do. And let me tell you, if this receiver class wasn't as stacked, if this was a previous year, he would have been a first-round talent. I had probably overall like a late first to early second-round grade on this guy. So to get him in the third round and get a top 10 receiver that late and get a guy who I think is a good Steeler fit, another tough guy, another physical guy, in spite of being a smaller guy, Roman Wilson is a really good fit. He's a very good route runner. He's one of the best route runners in this class. He's got a very quick first step. He's got very good hands. Like I said, 70-plus catches and only one drop last year. The red zone target with 12 touchdowns last year. He plays a lot bigger than his frame. He's very good in traffic. He's a good combat catch guy. He was catching a lot of balls where he had 2 or 3 guys around him. He's not afraid to drag across the field or sit down in the middle of the field. He can sit down in zones and catch the ball. He can catch up the seam. He's a good slant guy. His rack is great too. He catches the ball and then breaks tackles or finds open seams to run down the field and get extra yards after the catch. He's a really good catch and run guy. So a lot of good intangibles. Yes, he's not the physical outside guy like a Leggett we were looking for, but we do have a physical outside guy already in George Pickens. So yeah, maybe Roman Wilson kind of has similarities to Calvin Austin, but Calvin Austin right now is not the route runner or the separator quite yet that Roman Wilson is. Calvin Austin's the return guy and a gadget guy. Roman Wilson has the ability to separate and run routes. Not quite as good as a Deontay Johnson, but better than anybody else on the team right now. He adds that route running and separation ability, and if he doesn't get separation, he knows where to sit down in the zones, and he can catch the ball in traffic, and he can break tackles for a guy that frames. So that to me at 84 is a steal. I love Roman Wilson, another physical Steeler fit who fills one of the biggest needs on the team. Another A pick for me. I'm going to give that grade an A. And then to end day 2, ending round 3 at pick number 84, this one is, yes, there's a risk factor involved here, but it is potentially one of the biggest steals of the entire draft. And that is inside linebacker Peyton Wilson from North Carolina State. I didn't talk about Peyton Wilson in any of my mocks. I was looking at a luxury pick like a Jeremiah Trotter or a Cedric Gray, because Trotter could be somebody who went in the 3rd or 4th round. Gray could be somebody who went in the 5th or 6th round. Those were guys I was looking at. I didn't think Pittsburgh would have the luxury of having Peyton Wilson sitting there at pick number 84 in round 3. Yes, we did need a corner. That was a big need to fill that we didn't address there. Yes, we could potentially have gone after a D tackle earlier. That was a possibility. But to get a guy like this late. Now, granted, there are injury concerns, right? He's had, I think, multiple, like 2 or 3 different ACL surgeries and a bunch of other surgeries on his shoulder at a very young age, starting in high school. So he is injury prone. He's got an injury history. We know that is a big concern. But Peyton Wilson's productivity is unmatched in this draft. He is, for my money, the second best inside linebacker in the class, and you could argue best. I had Edgerrin Cooper as number 1, and this guy is number 2, but you could argue this guy's number 1. He's a tackling machine. He is very good at locating the run game. He's very good at getting outside quickly. His sideline-to-sideline speed is probably the fastest in this draft. He is an absolute freak athlete for a guy his size. The combination of power and speed really makes me happy watching this guy's tape. He's a good guy at pursuit from behind. His effort when he's trailing a play is excellent. So even if he gets beat on a bad angle or a missed tackle, he will catch up with you. He also barely ever misses tackles. The dude's a tackling machine. He does a bit of everything. Let me give you this guy's stats. And first things first, his I think he tore an ACL, and that's been the big concern. But his most recent tear was 3 seasons ago. He has played every game in the past 2 seasons. Over the last 2 years, he has not missed a game. And the year before his torn ACL, he didn't miss a game. Played all of 2020, missed most of 2021, and then came back in 2022 and 2023. So yes, he has the injury history, but that's years ago. He has played now multiple full seasons without that recurring injury. So he's giving us reason to believe that he's healthy. And maybe the cumulative injuries will shorten his career. But again, to get a guy this good at his position, we needed more depth at inside linebacker and a guy potentially for the future, because we're not sure how much longer Landon Roberts will be here. Cole Holcomb's really good, but he's got a lot of, questionables after last year's injury. So Patrick Queen now being here, and adding a young guy like this, let me give you real quick his stats in the last 2 years. Didn't miss a game. Over the last 2 seasons, has 220 tackles, 30 tackles for a loss, 10.5 sacks, 4 interceptions, 9 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 touchdown. The dude's everywhere. He is a coverage linebacker. He's a speed linebacker. He can blitz off the edge when he needs to. He can blitz up the middle. He's a good quarterback rusher and pressure guy. He's good at deflecting the ball in the air when he's not getting his hands on it. He's around the ball for turnovers. Again, great tackler, great trailer, great effort, great speed. He's got everything. And if your only concern is that the guy missed a bunch of time 2 years ago, but he's played 2 consecutive seasons at a high-ass level, to go for a gamble on this guy as your 4th overall pick, to get a first-round talent in the 3rd round at pick 84 as your 4th guy, to fill a need with a potential generational talent that may or may not have an injury history, but to get him this late, what a steal. What a steal. I know about the gamble with the injuries, but I'm going to give this pick an A also. I am giving all 4 of our first 2 days, Troy Fautanu, Zach Frazier, Roman Wilson, and Peyton Wilson. We got our generational tackle. We got our generational center. We got a wide receiver who can come in and play on day 1. And we got an inside linebacker who could be the guy of the future. Barring injury, the guy is highly productive and fits the Steelers very, very well. You plug 3 of your biggest 4 holes. You had 4 positions of need. You plug 3 of them with guys who shouldn't have fallen to you. You get 3 franchise fits at a good value in your pick. And then you go and steal the 2nd best inside linebacker in the draft, who's a first-round guy at the end of round 3. You can't be mad at that. Pittsburgh in day 1 and day 2 had one of the best drafts in the league. 4 A's for me on these picks, even with the Peyton Wilson gamble. The only thing I would say is you didn't get a corner this early. But we'll talk about what happened on day 3. I'm going to go continue to do research. I don't know as much about the day 3 guys and the undrafted free agents as I do about these guys. So I'm going to do my homework, break down those picks for you, and bring you that video soon. Check out the Troy Fautanu video. Check out this one and give me your comments down below of what you thought. Did you like these picks? Why do you or don't you like them? Who else would you have selected? What did we miss on? What did we hit on? Give me your grades in the comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys with my day 3 and undrafted free agency video very soon. Thank you, and I'm sorry for the delay. Go Steelers.